Yo, what's going on guys? ASTRAL here, and today we're back with another video for the Nintendo Switch OLED, only this time I want to talk about 10 games that I personally think are worth revisiting or at least booting back up if you're picking up the OLED Switch. Of course, you know, fundamentally the OLED Switch is, largely speaking, very similar to your conventional Switch, the main thing being the OLED screen, but given how nice the screen is, we of course did an unboxing on this. If you guys want to check that out, I will link it in the description box down below. You can of course also see a few scenes from that in this video, but of course the main thing is it has a really nice screen. It is slightly bigger and it is very vibrant. The colors just pop on this. So with that being said, some of the games in this list are just so incredibly vibrant and they look amazing on the OLED Switch. Of course, if you're playing in handheld, if you're playing docked, it really makes absolutely no difference, but you know what I'm talking about. So if you guys do enjoy this video, a like would be super appreciated. If you guys are picking up the OLED Switch, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe you're waiting for something else. Either way, let me know. And if you guys have been enjoying the content lately, definitely don't forget to subscribe. So, in no particular order, starting off with one of my favorite games of all time, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is a visually stunning game. Even on the regular Switch, the first time I ever booted up this game, the first time I had a chance to play it, the first time I even saw the trailer for this game, I was blown away. I love the visuals, I love the sort of mixture between sort of cel-shaded / slightly sort of painted feel to it. Honestly, this on my Nintendo Switch is still the game that I have the most screenshots for. There are so many times when this game came out that I played through it and I would just stop and take a screenshot because there are so many different fantastic biomes, different colors, different times of day. Honestly, this is a visual treat. Just being able to kind of walk up onto a mountain, look over the vista. Honestly, doing that on the OLED screen is fantastic. So this one, I have to mention. Moving on from there to number 2 is Astral Chain. This fantastic game from Platinum Games. Platinum smashed it. It is basically anime cops, loads of action, stand-like abilities, it's got a wild plot, and it also has a ton of vibrant colors. I mean, you can just boot this up on the OLED Switch just for the intro alone. The intro alone is a visual treat. I love it. But honestly, this is, not only is this a great game, this is also a game that I do need to go back and revisit. I didn't quite get to the very end. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't quite get to it just because it came out at a really busy time. So I'm going to use the OLED Switch as a chance, as a reason to go back and finish Astral Chain, because honestly, it's a crime that I haven't finished it. Crime, get it? Because they're cops. Anyway, moving on to the next game, Luigi's Mansion 3. Spooky time, basically. This is a really good chance because of course OLED screens, not only are they great for the bright, vibrant colors, but they're also good for those deep, dark blacks. And of course, in Luigi's Mansion, it is a dark lit game with of course plenty of vibrancy as well. So being in that sort of dark lit mansion, you would of course benefit from that OLED contrast. But the game of course has a heavy emphasis on lighting and of course those moody interiors, which really do pop on the new handheld. Next up on the list is EASTWARD. I feel like I'm mentioning this game every week right now. Yo, I love this game. It might not be the most conventional one to pick for this kind of video, but this is a game that visually is incredible. It has some of the best, greatest pixel art that I have seen in a long time. I love it. And while some of the areas in this game are quite dingy and gloomy and sort of, you know, that kind of underground feel, when you get to some of the more open areas, it is bright, it is vibrant, and the pixel art just shines on that new screen. So this is kind of my way of saying if you haven't played EASTWARD, you still need to play EASTWARD anyway, but if you haven't and you have an OLED Switch, now you've got absolutely no reason to not play it. Basically, just play EASTWARD. I feel like I'm a salesman for EASTWARD. They're not even paying me. I just really like the game. So anyway, moving on from there, I have to talk about Hades. Hades is an incredible title. It's critically acclaimed. It's Game of the Year material. It's of course a roguelite with a deep story and a rich and engaging world for you to cause havoc in. Your goal of course is to escape the underworld, and visually, this game looks great. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the running theme for this whole video, but if you guys have seen even just a trailer for Hades, you will know this is a very nice visual treat. So having a chance to revisit this in handheld on OLED, it's a no-brainer. Next up on the list, of course, is Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit biased here, but I kind of have to mention this anyway. Monster Hunter Rise, launched this year. It's a fantastic Monster Hunter game. Yes, I know it might not have got all the content we wanted it to, but regardless, it's still a fantastic Monster Hunter game, and more importantly, it looks fantastic. Yes, some of the maps might not necessarily be super vibrant. I know the Flooded Forest is kind of just like a murky wasteland, but some of the maps really do pop. Areas in the Shrine Ruins, areas on the sort of frozen maps, even in the desert. There are some genuinely amazing visuals in this game, so having that as an option is fantastic. Of course, this is going to be fun competition because next year the Steam Deck launches, and of course you have the PC version, so it'll kind of be like OLED Switch versus Steam Deck. But regardless, Monster Hunter Rise, check it out on the OLED. Another one worth mentioning is Dragon Quest XI. Of course, Dragon Quest is an iconic JRPG series with character designs from manga artist Akira Toriyama, and Dragon Quest, of course, one of those series that kind of has a similar fandom to like Final Fantasy. It's big, alright? It has well-developed characters, it has twists, it has a plethora of amazing combat, but it also has some incredible environments to explore, and Dragon Quest XI is a very nice looking game. It's a very bright looking game. It's similar sort of feel to Breath of the Wild in some regards, not exactly the same, but main thing is it's a bright, vibrant world and something that looks great on OLED. Now, another one worth mentioning is Super Mario Odyssey. I love this game. I mean, I love 3D Mario games regardless. I played them all, and I feel like for that reason, I'm always going to like them. But Super Mario Odyssey is a masterclass in vibrant colors, color contrast, all that kind of stuff. Nintendo basically is just like, we're going to use every color in the rainbow because we can, basically. I could not possibly put together a list like this without in some way, shape or form mentioning Mario, and Super Mario Odyssey seems like the fantastic choice. I'm pretty sure most of you haven't got all the stars anyway, so you've probably already got a reason to go back to Super Mario Odyssey, and if you have the OLED Switch, what better reason? Another one worth mentioning, another one for the RPG fans, Octopath Traveler. Not one that I have played myself, I know it's a crime, but I'm not really a turn-based guy, but regardless, I do need to mention it because this is an RPG with a very different art style. This is actually pioneering the sort of HD 2D look, which features pixel sprites along with sort of voxel environments with some interesting use of depth of field and lots of god rays to sort of give you that combination of like a trip down nostalgia lane with a modern twist. So factoring in some of those bright visual god rays, some of the sort of interesting dynamics with the 2D and the voxel backgrounds makes for a rather interesting experience on the OLED Switch. Then the next one on the list is Game Maker Garage. Whilst not exactly a game in the strictest of senses, it does benefit from the larger screen size of the OLED. This one is a slightly different angle because of course for most of these we've been talking about their visual prowess or the kind of vibrancy. This one is just the fact that the OLED is also a slightly bigger screen, and in the Game Maker Garage it's all about building things, so of course having slightly more screen real estate is going to be incredibly useful. The game is essentially Nintendo's take on Dreams, allowing you to learn the fundamentals of game building and level design in a bite-sized friendly manner, so it's definitely worth your time if you have that sort of game development itch. And then finally, the very last game, saved it to the end. I could not make a video on the OLED Switch if I didn't mention Metroid Dread, which is basically the launch title for the Switch OLED, let's be honest, right? Latest installment in the Metroid franchise, it is fantastic. I am playing through the game right now. I haven't finished it. We have already put up some gameplay on the channel. If you guys want to check out the first hour of the game, I will link it down below. But more importantly, this game looks fantastic. It runs super smooth. It is so much fun to play, exploring the world, exploring everything like that. Having the slightly larger screen, of course, for exploring the map and everything else like that is already fantastic. And of course, factoring in the vibrant colors, the different environments, everything like that, it is very nice to play on the OLED Switch. I will say if you are playing Metroid on the Switch, you might want to consider using the HoriPad Pro because of course sometimes you need to do some like juggling with your fingers to try and take down some of the bosses because there's a lot of button inputs in this game, but regardless, Switch OLED makes this game look fantastic. So there you have it, that is pretty much it. That's a little rundown on a few games that I think personally are worth booting up or revisiting if you are picking up the OLED Switch for some nice crispy colors. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to catch more from us, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest uploads. And if you want somewhere to hang out, play games, or chat all things from games to anime, food to fitness, consider joining the ASTRAL Gaming Discord.